Have you ever wondered what would happen if you took a PlayStation controller and a Super Nintendo controller and smashed them together? What you'd get? Well, I certainly have, and today we get to find out. Turns out you get two broken controllers. Hey there, how's it going? I'm TechDweeb, welcome. Thanks for clicking on the video today. As you probably know, I'm a big fan of playing video games. I think they're fun and I like to spend my time with them. They're pretty great. You should give them a go if you haven't tried them. And when I play video games, I like to use a controller. It's just way more effective using a controller to control the game instead of controlling it with my mind. Or my voice. Move, damn it! Go! Go! Oh my god, you idiot! Here's the thing about me and controllers. I am a creature of habit, big time. When I like something, I cling to it like a sticky note on my fridge. I'm very resistant to change. I don't want to switch, even when a shiny new thing comes along. I don't want to like a new thing if I have something I like already. And yes, I realize the irony in me saying that, considering, yeah. Actually, it is kind of the same situation with my handhelds. I got my forever favorite devices like my Miu Mini. I've got the fun flings that I enjoyed but I didn't end up using much. And then there's my flavor of the month obsessions. The handhelds I'm obsessed with right now, but maybe not in a week or whatever when something new comes along. Controllers are the same deal. I got my classics that I love forever, I got a whole bunch that I liked but I didn't use much, and I got my little temporary crushes that maybe I won't be using once I find something else to be obsessed with. And just like with handhelds, I don't know when I'm testing a controller if it's going to be my main thing forever, or a flavor of the month, or something that I like but will never touch again after I'm done tinkering. Which brings us to my newest controller, the 8BitDo Pro 3. The reason that I find this one so interesting is because I do have an idea of where it stands with me. I'm pretty sure that I know if I'll still love this in a week, or a month, or a year, or forever, and you want to know, which is it? And I'll tell you, eventually. But like, if I told you now, you wouldn't watch the video, so I'll save the juicy grand finale for the end. Oh wait, yeah, I guess you could just skip to the end of the video, I guess. But then you'll miss the video. Huh. Oh, okay, fine, I'll tell you. I love it, and I think I'll use it for a very long time. But like, can you just watch the video anyway? I spent a lot of time on it. I promise I'll put in some jokes and stuff that you wouldn't want to miss. Here, let's do a joke right now. So, you know, like, why do controllers even still have a start button? Start what? The game already started, and I used the A button to start it. Also, when you're in a game, if you press start, it doesn't start anything. It does the opposite. It stops the game by pausing it. They should just call it the stop button. And then when you're paused, you can press the stop button to start again. And, oh, wait. You suck. Yeah. The 8BitDo Pro 3 comes in 4 colorways. There is a gray PlayStation style version, and this super retro looking Game Boy DMG style beige one, and there's an indigo GameCube style one, and there's just been announced an orange GameCube style one that I think looks freaking incredible. I may buy that one just to have it. I always love the orange GameCube vibe. And this controller is priced at $69 on Amazon. It's just such a funny number. And also it's a sort of middle ground price. It's not super top end premium, but it's not cheap and budget. I think it's a fair price considering the quality personally. And I would be very grateful if you would consider using that link to buy one if you're thinking about picking one up. Very grateful. Let's start by taking a good look at this thing. Huh. Ah. Ooh. And now that we've had a good look, let's do the tour. On the front, we have a D-pad, start and select, face buttons over here, 2 sticks in the PlayStation position, and some function buttons. This is a star button that I use as a RetroArch hotkey. This is a profile switching button, and this is a home button. Underneath, we have 4 LEDs, which 2 is showing connection stuff. Up top, we have bumpers, triggers, and extra R4 and L4 buttons. and a USB-C hole for charging and wired connection, and a pairing button. Around back, we have some switches to turn the triggers into hair triggers, and some rebindable paddle buttons, and a physical mode switch to change the connection mode. The base station looks like this, and this acts as a charging stand and also holds the 2.4 GHz dongle in there. So if you plug this into your PC or Switch or whatever, it'll act like a docking station for both wireless connection and charging. Or you can plug in the dongle by itself. This is a USB-C dongle, so if you're using this on a device without USB-C, you're going to need an adapter for that. Or just use a USB A to C cable and use the docking station. The dock cover also holds your extra buttons and button puller offer. I'll come back to those. As you can see, we have these handles down here and the sticks in the PlayStation configuration. However, the top button area is shaped like a Super Nintendo controller. And my version is colored like a Game Boy, but the other ones are colored like GameCube things. It's like 8BitDo couldn't decide on what kind of nostalgia to go for, so they just did it all. And you know what? I'm here for it. I absolutely love the retro vibes of this thing. One of my favorite controllers ever is the 8BitDo SN30 Pro, which is almost exactly the same as this, but without the handles. And I can't decide which I like more. The SN30 Pro feels more retro, and it's smaller, so it's more like travel friendly, and it's lighter. But dang, if this Pro 3 isn't like 5 times more comfortable. These grips are like the perfect size and shape. I get my hands on this and I just instantly forget I'm holding a controller. And it's D-pad dominant. For a guy who plays mostly retro games and indie games, that's amazing. And also I appreciate that these back paddle buttons aren't super obtrusive or noticeable. I know lots of people like back paddle buttons, but I hate the sensation of buttons under my gripping fingers, so these are easily ignorable and I'm fine with them here. I also like the weight of this controller. It's got some heft to it and it feels solid. I think the distribution of weight is overall pretty good. It may be a tad top heavy, but not terrible. I got used to it pretty quick. When it comes to the controls, I have very few complaints. Basically, everything is great as far as I'm concerned. The D-pad is awesome. Great quality inputs, no false diagonals when you don't want them, but it's easy to hit the diagonals when you do want to. The D-pad has that Game Boy texture to it, and it's a bit on the stiff side, so I think if you were playing lots of fighting games, then you'd find this wore down your thumb a bit quicker than other controllers. But this is actually perfect for the kind of games I like to play, so I'm glad they went with this style. The buttons feel great. I like that they're big. I like the feel of them, and you can swap the buttons. In the base station, you get this button puller offer, and you can use that to remove the buttons and put them into a different configuration, or change them out for the European color versions. I heard other reviewers saying that these buttons come off too easy. They could literally grab them with their fingers, and they worry that the buttons will fall off, but I haven't really experienced that. I don't find them easy to take off at all without the puller offer. I can barely do it. And they don't come out on their own no matter how hard I try, so I don't think that's too big of a deal. Good bumpers. The triggers have wonderful input quality. These are Hall triggers, so they should perform well even as the controller ages. And you can use this toggle to change the input mode. Switch from analog input to a hair trigger. The vast majority of games that I play don't benefit from analog input, and I'm not good enough at the games that do benefit from it to even make a difference, so I like this option. The sticks are also awesome. These are TMR sticks and they have amazing input quality, perfect sensitivity. I don't prefer the sticks in the PlayStation configuration for most PC games. I'd usually play with an Xbox style controller or something for like Doom or whatever, but even still, I had no problem playing any games with this thing, even first person shooters. And this is cool, you can swap the sticks for these balls. These arcade style sticks with the ball on the end. Now, this is not that comfortable to use, to be honest. It's kind of a gimmick. However, check this out. If you put this controller in the base station with the arcade stick on there, you actually can use this like a mini arcade stick. When I discovered this, I literally squeaked with joy. I played a whole bunch of arcade games and I loved the novelty, but I was also surprised at how legit it felt. It really does feel like a mini arcade stick if you use it right. I kinda love this. Oh, and you do get gyro controls. However, you'll need to be on the right input mode, which brings us to the connectivity. This switch on the back lets you toggle connection modes. You have switch mode on the left, which is Bluetooth, and you can use that to connect to the Switch or the Switch 2, or almost any device really. However, your buttons will then be in the Switch configuration, and your triggers won't be analog triggers. Gyro will work like that though. You can use D input mode to connect to Android devices and any other device that supports D input, And you can switch to the X/S mode, which is X input mode, and that uses the dongle. No Bluetooth with that mode, which is not ideal. I wish it could be Bluetooth too, but whatever, it's fine. I just use the switch mode when connecting to my PC over Bluetooth. And I'll use X input mode and the 2.4 GHz dongle if I have the dock plugged in. Frustratingly, 8BitDo doesn't really explain what functions work and which don't in the different modes. For instance, you get Steam input when using the D input mode or wired mode, but not with switch input mode or X input with the dongle. So you're kind of left just to try stuff and see if it works. Lucky for you, my mom's boyfriend's barber's nephew's babysitter knows a guy who made a handy chart that explains everything. This Retro Game Corps guy, he made this chart and it's really helpful. He's got a YouTube channel too, so I'll toss a link to his video below. He covers all this connectivity stuff in really good detail in his video. His channel's pretty good too. Maybe head over there and subscribe if you like his stuff. I like to help out the little guys, you know? Oh, and the polling rate is 100 Hz if you're on Bluetooth and 250 Hz if you're on wired or the dongle. I personally cannot notice a difference. I tried really hard and I literally can't see any noticeable latency or input quality issues at all. However, I'm not a pro competitive gamer guy who needs 1000 Hz for that competitive advantage or whatever. So if you're a super pro gamer guy or girl and you need the best of the best, maybe spend more than $69 for a retro style controller and get something else. For me, the input quality is fine. It's perfect. The way you rebind the L4 and R4 function buttons and the right and left paddles is actually super simple, and you can do it on the fly. You just hold the button that you want to bind along with the button or the combination of buttons that you want to bind it to. And then you press the star button and it will attach those button inputs to the function button. And to clear it, you hold the function button and the home button and then you tap the star button. And it'll flash to let you know it's gone. Kind of a weird way to handle it, but yeah, it works fine. Nice that you don't need to dip into the software for that. Speaking of the software, there's software. The 8BitDo Ultimate Software V2. This is a program that you can run that lets you get in and tweak all sorts of stuff about your controller. You can set any button to be any controller function. You can create custom macros, adjust the input settings of the sticks and the triggers and the vibration, and also update the controller with the latest firmware. Pretty basic software. There's not much to it, but it's nice to have this if you need any of this more advanced stuff. I never had an 8BitDo Pro 2, so my opinion is the opinion of a newbie to this product line. And to be honest, I got this over a month ago. 8BitDo sent it to me and it's been sitting on my desk. And I dragged my feet to getting around to reviewing it. And actually, I wasn't expecting to like it, but as soon as I started actually using it, I kind of surprised myself at how much I do like it. Like I said, there is a base level reluctance with me to accept new controllers because I have so many controllers that I love, but I'm not a controller enthusiast the way I am with handhelds or root beer. I have controllers I like and I have no need of new ones. But the 8BitDo Pro 3 has wormed its way into my heart. Like a parasite, in a good way. I think the fact that it has a base station that I can plop it down on when I'm not using it, the fact that the input quality and controls are so good, the fact that it's so comfortable, and the fact that it looks like something I would have begged my mom for back in 1995, it just kind of means that this thing has slotted into my life just effortlessly. This is a really easy to get along with controller. There's very few bells and whistles, but that's a good thing for me. It's just good in a simple way. There are a few things I don't like how you can't do X input over Bluetooth, how you can't save the profile data on the controller itself, you need to use the software, and how it doesn't do multiple Bluetooth profiles. I have to repair it on different devices every time I switch between them. But those are pretty easy to get along with gripes, and I honestly will be using this thing a lot. That said, I don't know if I would actually buy this. 8BitDo sent it to me, but I think if I was buying a controller, like if I just needed a controller for retro games, I would have bought the SN30 Pro for that. And my favorite PC gaming controller is the GillyKit KK3 Pro, and my favorite cheap controller is the GameSir Tegonaria Lite. I'll toss the links below to all of those things if you want to learn more about them or pick any of those up. That's sort of like my golden trifecta of controllers. However, if I didn't already have any of those controllers, like if I was just gonna get one controller, I'm kind of thinking that maybe this Pro 3 would be the one I would get instead, because it kind of takes the place of all those other controllers. It's like everything that I like about those all combined into one. So I guess if you have a controller you like, then stick with that. This Pro 3 is isn't like game changing or anything, pun intended. But if you're in the market for something like this, then yeah, I give it a big thumbs up. 10 of them. 10 big thumbs up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Thumbs for days. And that's it. That's what I think about the 8BitDo Pro 3. But now you want to know, what do I really think about root beer? Are you ready for the truth? Well, I hope so, because here it comes. I actually like it a lot.